Euromaxx highlights. Coming up on the show, For the Future, a Spanish architect and his environmentally friendly buildings. In the Saddle, Euromaxx checks out the latest trends in the world of bicycles. And on the road, a 69-year-old granny from Britain spins the vinyl in nightclubs throughout Europe. Euromaxx highlights, and here's your host, Robin Merrill.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the show from our studios here in Berlin. Since 1993, the LEAD Awards have been presented every year by a panel of top media experts here in Germany. The awards go to people that they consider the most creative minds in the fields of print and online advertising. This year, the photographer Olaf Unfatad from Munich has been honoured with the Photography Prize for his documentary photo series commemorating the 60th anniversary of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Photographer Olaf Unfatad captures the banalities of everyday life on film. He traveled throughout Germany for Zeit magazine, seeking inspiration for his photo series. He was given a completely free hand.
I set off without a specific goal, taking the journey as my goal, encountering people, situations, and landscapes as I went. I tried to create my own image of Germany in 2009.
After studying art in Leipzig, Olaf Unfatad has worked as a photographer for well-known magazines and sold his large-format works. His motifs find favor without resorting to clichés.
I think the reason this series was so successful is that people think, oh, that's something absolutely normal that I've seen myself. And then all of a sudden they see that when you turn it into a picture, it says a lot about a society and a country.
Unfatad doesn't like to pin himself down in his work. He uses various formats, takes both color and black and white pictures, follows his intuition, and travels throughout the world to find motifs. Some of his pictures seem independent of time and space.
There are places that don't say anything specific about the culture and country. It's more that I see myself in my pictures when I photograph things that could actually happen anywhere in the world.
But the photographer does have some favorite motifs. In the summer of 2009, he went to France to experience and photograph the Tour de France. Unfatad is a cycling enthusiast and loves nature. The Tour de France was ideal for his work. A recurrent theme in his work is the connection between people and nature. He often uses an expensive large-format camera for his pictures. Unfatad is a fan of analog photography and classical craftsmanship. He never retouches his pictures. He shows the world as it is. But the photographer from Munich does have certain characteristic choices of color.
I switch back and forth between color and black and white. My color motifs are always taken when the sky is overcast, so the colors are muted, with lots of gray and green tones. The black and white photos can have a bit more depth, and the sun can shine in them.
Olaf Unfatad goes his own way, and successfully. He's been able to earn a living from photography for several years now. That's partly because he does not restrict himself to exhibitions, but also produces elaborate photo books. Unfatad, who has already received the German Photo Book Prize twice, is currently working on another book project.
For me, the photo books are an art form of their own. They differ hugely from a catalog. My photo books function completely differently. The point is, the book is an autonomous object. It's about working together as a team with specific people. Always the same staff of graphic artists and authors I respect, and who influence me in different ways.
A complex task as comprehensive as Olaf Unfatad's complete repertoire. The photographer already knows what he wants to do in the coming decade.
I'll be doing exactly the same as before, not traveling as much, but otherwise the same.
Olaf Unfatad isn't revealing any more than that for now. In the future, he'll continue to let his pictures speak for themselves.
From Germany to the Spanish city of Barcelona. Now, did you know that buildings are responsible for producing more greenhouse gas emissions than cars? The Spanish architect Enric Ruiz-Geli is well aware of this, and he's made it his mission to design environmentally friendly and sustainable buildings. He's created family homes that sometimes look like UFOs and energy-efficient office blocks that work with solar energy. We met up with this champion of green architecture.
Catalan architect Enric Ruiz-Geli designs futuristic structures that are built with high-tech materials. His latest project is the Mediatic building in Barcelona. He says he is following the example set by another famous Catalan architect.
Nature was Gaudi's most important source of inspiration. I like imitating nature too, but I don't just copy natural shapes. Instead, I'll be more likely to look at how nature works, how it produces clean energy, light, and warmth. That's my inspiration. I want to create sustainable architecture that can teach us something.
The Mediatic building uses 75% less energy than conventional structures. Solar panels and cells on the roof are used to harness energy. The facade is one of the best examples of intelligent construction. It's made up of 2 layers. It's a double shell with a synthetic cushion in between. It lets in plenty of light, but insulates as well. So the building doesn't need air conditioning.
If the sun is really strong, the synthetic layer closes and shields the building from light and heat. But when a thick cloud is overhead, sensors register it and the insulation opens and lets in more light.
The Barcelona Digital technology company was the first to move in. They're also researching ways to save energy. So this building is perfect for them.
We would like to show the public what we're working for. We intentionally chose this place as our headquarters because it is a symbol of energy efficiency and sustainability.
Enric Ruiz-Geli has a reputation for creating ecologically sustainable buildings in unusual designs. This family home is oval-shaped. Its plastic outer skin keeps the place cool. This expo pavilion is another example of green architecture. If it gets warm inside, streams of water are activated outside. It could be said the pavilion cools itself off by transpiring. The roof of this villa is covered with plants that keep out the heat. The plants also help protect the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide. The Cloud9 building in downtown Barcelona is a think tank for green architecture. 20 architects and IT specialists are working on a number of projects around the globe. Enric Ruiz-Geli says it's important for green architecture to set an example.
Houses and other buildings account for about 40% of all CO2 emissions. That's why we architects have a great responsibility. We must spend more time thinking about the environment. Above all, we have to reduce energy use and utilize clean energy. Our goal should be the zero energy house.
This artist studio in Barcelona looks like a cave. It's another one of Ruiz-Geli's projects. The walls are made of solid concrete, a raw material that's in endless supply. The studio, which belongs to Catalan artist Evru, also has special lighting. The artificial light inside imitates the color spectrum of daylight. The lighting atmosphere can be saved and called up again at any time.
I work at really odd hours. Sometimes I like to work nights until 3 in the morning. But when I come in here, I need the kind of light intensity you get at noon, and I can get it. The architecture really suits me, and I feel comfortable here.
Enric Ruiz-Geli is an environmentally aware architect with a vision, intelligent architecture that blends in with nature and the needs of the people who use it.
And staying in an environmentally friendly mood, we move from the world of architecture to the world of transport. With spring in the air here in Europe, everybody's been dusting off their bicycles. 4 million new bikes were sold here in Germany alone last year. And the trend this year, rather like in the fashion world, is for the retro look. Sturdy and reliable bicycles in an old-fashioned style. In fact, you could say cycling isn't just about getting from A to B anymore, it's more about lifestyle.
There are some 70 million bicycles in Germany. That's around 1 bike for each inhabitant, and the number is constantly growing. Anyone looking to buy a new one this year is certainly spoiled for choice. Perhaps an elegant city bike, a sporty racer, or a comfortable bike for longer tours.
The trend is clearly towards the light bicycle, one that weighs less and is comfortable to sit on. People are willing to pay a bit more. That's why the trend is towards pricier products that are really comfortable.
Simple yet graceful, that's the motto. This is the first time that Bella Ciao bicycles are on sale in Germany. This classic city bike, for example, is modeled on an Italian design from the 1920s. The handlebar and frame come from northern Italy. The bikes are hand-assembled in Germany. The basic model without gears starts at 700 euros, and yes, it's retro.
In a way, bicycles have become accessories. I think the large amount of money that used to be spent on expensive cars will now be spent on bikes. People will treat themselves to a second, third, or fourth bike to be able to match the bike to their mood and the weather.
Ever more bicycle manufacturers are choosing styles reminiscent of days gone by. These bikes by the German firm Wanderer were last spotted 60 years ago. And these days, the retro model costs around 1,200 euros and is fitted out with modern-day brakes and gears. Stylish and prominent design features are in demand, moving high-tech extras like 25 gears or a suspension fork off the priority list. Features that weren't always necessary in everyday use anyway.
It's safe to say that's the trend we're noticing. It's all about the look and also the simplicity of the product. The bicycle as it once was. I get on and cycle off. That's what people are asking for.
Modern, zippy city bikes that are simple and elegant. Introducing the Fixies, or fixed gear bikes. They were invented for racing and weren't always safe enough for city streets because some of them didn't even have brakes. Fixies are eye-catchers and just the thing for individualists. The frame alone comes in 50 variations. This year's bike is all about color, and for athletic city slickers, the Fixie is a must-have.
People want something practical and something that looks great, something they can identify themselves with. That's important. Bikes aren't just a means of transport anymore, they're a statement, a fashion statement.
Electric bikes with their small motors are another big seller this year. In fact, they've become one of the biggest segments on the bike market. Approximately 500,000 of them were sold in Europe last year. But if you still prefer to walk now and again, then maybe a fold-up bike would be just the thing.
Now, when is someone considered old nowadays? I remember that my parents always seemed old to me, even when they were still in their 30s. And who would have thought that Paul McCartney would actually be singing the song When I'm 64 after he'd actually reached that age? I'm sure he didn't. British pensioner Ruth Flowers has started a brand new career as a DJ, and she's 69. And as she herself puts it so succinctly, I'd rather sign a contract with a record company than sign up for the nursing home. Meet DJ Mamy Rock from the British city of Bristol with her trademark shades. She needs them to cover up those sleepy eyes, I expect, as she burns the candle at both ends.
It's a night of clubbing the way it should be, with hypnotic beats and rising temperatures. But the person spinning the vinyl isn't a teenager. It's a rising star on the Djane scene, 69-year-old grandmother Ruth Flowers, alias Djane Mamy Rock.
I may be just a 5-minute wonder, and if I am, so be it. I may be up there and down the next. But I take life as it comes. Each day is a new day. Live each day, I say to everybody. You can sit on your backside and do nothing, or you can get up and do what you wanted to do all your life. And, you know, that's entirely up to every individual.
Flowers made her debut as a DJ at the 2009 Cannes Film Festival. Since then, she's become a media phenomenon. Her unique career began at her grandson's birthday party in a London club.
I was invited, of course, and I went along, and the gentleman at the door said, "I really don't think you want to go in there, madam," because it was quite a racket, you know, a noisy do. I said, "Well, I rather think I must, because I'm his grandmother." So I went in, and it was loud, it was noisy, and the lights were flashing. But they were so enjoying themselves, the energy they were expending, you know, with their dance and their movement. And I thought, you know, this is what the young ones need.
And she was ready to give them just that. Flowers joined forces with a French producer, and DJ Mamy Rock was born. She learned the new music and technology fast and changed her outfit to suit her new career. She got into leather and tracksuits. Age became ageless, and Ruth Flowers became a role model.
It certainly seems to be, from the response we get from people on the internet. I mean, people have written and said, "I was giving up. I'd given up all ideas. I thought my life was at an end, but you have given me hope." And I thought that was quite amazing. I thought, can I do that for people? But it appears it can happen. And if I'm a role model, it's not bad, is it?
Mamy Rock's latest project is for home listening. She's working on her own debut song in a Paris recording studio.
And it is purely the beat. Yeah. You know, the beat.
And her fans can't wait for the release date in May.
I never wanted to be famous. I always think I've been famous in my own little world. I've been, you know, the top of the tree. That's good enough for me. I don't care about being famous. Somebody asked me, "Why do you want to be famous?" I said, "I have no intention, I have no desire to be famous. I haven't made me famous. Other people have made me famous, if that's what I am."
Ruth Flowers was born in the English city of Bristol. Her DJ act, a blend of electro and classic rock, is in high demand the world over. She sometimes has up to 3 gigs a week. Tonight, she's spinning the vinyl in Florence, Italy. She always tries to fit in a little sightseeing.
The travel is quite nice. I have the time, and so I do enjoy the travel. And the most enjoyable is seeing the young ones enjoy themselves so much and loving what I play. I'm quite amazed. They mock me, actually, and they say, I want to be your grandchild. I want you to be my grandmother. Oh, I am awesome, whatever that is.
And at 1 a.m., when most grannies have long since gone to bed, for DJ Mamy Rock, work is just starting. And for the revelers, a long night of dancing to a DJing with a difference.
She's great. Now, giving old things a new life is recycling, isn't it? Talking of which, we have seen a number of different environmentally friendly ideas on today's show, and here to finish off the programme, another one. Michael Johansson from Sweden is an artist who recycles what most people would classify as junk. He rummages around flea markets and junk shops for literally anything from hairdryers to books to bits of old cars. Then he assembles these piles of everyday objects into monolithic sculptures or installations. We met up with him preparing his latest work.
Swedish artist Michael Johansson is always on the lookout for objects with the right colors and forms for his new artworks. He recycles everyday items, and his collection consists of found objects from bygone days. He uses an old chair as a frame for his latest creation. Johansson's sculptures have found their way into renowned collections, for example, in the Malmö Art Museum.
I realized that very few of them that I can actually use in my work. Not only that they have to fit in the color and shape, but also I want every items within each work to fit also with each other contextually, and so they make an image of, for example, a specific environment or a era of time or something like that.
Mikail Johansson approaches his objects with humor. A sailboat broken down into its individual parts and put together again in a frame. Johansson has created a whole series based on this principle. What's always lacking is the most important part, the motor. The object can no longer be used and loses its original significance.
My main focus is actually to take real objects and put them in the wrong direction of the line of production, so that the real bike are turned back into a model of a bike.
To put everyday objects into a new context, the artist needs a constant new supply of items. He finds them at flea markets, or as here, in a second-hand shop in Malmö. Almost anything can become a part of his art.
The meaning that they have or have had in our lives from before, if you recognize them from a different setting or what they say, what kind of memories that they bring up, that's what matters for me.
For his latest exhibition in downtown Malmö, Michael Johansson also uses things he finds in the gallery. It's astonishing what comes together. He finds uses for a cash box, as well as for books with silver covers. The main thing is that it has the right color and form. He even uses an accordion he chances upon, and builds a stacked sculpture in one of the gallery's passageways.
My hope was, when I started to use ordinary objects, that people should feel less alienated to the work, because sometimes, of course, contemporary art could be hard to approach.
Michael Johansson's new exhibition proves once again just how much artistic content there is in everyday objects.
And just before we go, there's time to remind you that you can find all those reports and much more from Euromaxx on the internet. Just go to youtube.com, then type in Deutsche Welle English all in one word. That's it for now, though, so thanks for watching and bye-bye.